Hello everyone. Once again, I am in front of you with yet another interesting video from the perspective of competitive examination. Students, if you are preparing for CAT or MAT like examination, and if you are preparing for NQT, TCS, or Ignite, definitely you will be targeting one important section, and that has become the integral part of the competitive examinations, what I have already talked about or mentioned rather, right? So this section is पैरा समरी. नाउ व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय पैरा समरी? चलिए आपको पहले हम ये क्लियर कर दे कि पैरा समरी क्यों दिया जाता है, उसका ऑब्जेक्टिव क्या है. Basically, it will be a very short passage consisting of, say, around 80 to 100 words, and four options will be given, and you need to identify the best summarized version of the entire passage. Means you have to identify the essence which captures the entire passage, right? तो यहाँ पे सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम क्या होता है? Most of the options, those will be provided in the question paper, those will be as close as possible. So you need to differentiate and you need to identify or be sure about that what should be the correct option. So इस चीज को करने के लिए, इसको सिलेक्शन करने के लिए, there are a lot of things which you need to take care of. So आज का इस वीडियो में मैं आपको बताऊंगा कि क्या what should be your ideal approach so that you can solve the questions related to para summary. So I will talk about the unbeatable tricks by which you can easily solve out the questions and you will get to know that what should be the correct option. So आज का ये सेशन आप मेरे साथ प्रैक्टिस करोगे basically. So दोस्तों, I am Nilanjan Bose, the professor of CIMAGE College, and this time I am going to present an interesting video related to para summary, and which is really important from the perspective of the competitive examination, what I have already mentioned. Right. So if you're the candidate for CAT or MAT, just watch out the video till the end so that you will get to know that what are the strategies by which you can proceed. क्या ऐसा स्ट्रेटेजी है, कितना जल्दी हम आसानी से इस पैरा समरी को आइडेंटिफाई कर सके. तो चलिए, विदाउट वेस्टिंग टाइम, लेट्स गेट स्टार्टेड टुडेज सेशन. Students, I'll be talking about four different kind of strategies. Just watch it carefully and do remember that these are the strategies by which you can easily solve the questions with the quickest possible time. Talking about the first one, read the passage carefully. This is the most important part, because once you have gone through the entire passage as quickly as possible, it will give you some idea the passage is related to what, right? Second point, get to know the subject matter. This is also vital, because once you are going through the entire passage, you should know that what should be the subject matter. किस विषय में, किस मुद्दा पे ये passage बात कर रहे हैं. If that subject matter is known to you earlier, तो वहां पे आपके पास एक added advantage हो जाता है, आपका grip बहुत strong हो जाएगा और आसानी से आप समझ जाओगे कि इस passage का meaning क्या है. Right? Moving to the third point, yeah, third strategy, whatever you call, compare the options. After going through the entire passage, you straight away go through the options and you start comparing the options. कौन ऐसा ऑप्शन है जिसमें सारा एसेंस को कैप्चर कर रहे हैं, कौन ऐसा ऑप्शन है जिसमें कुछ ही पोर्शन को इंक्लूड कर दिया गया. You should eliminate those options. So very careful observation is needed over there, and it's so easy because if you have gone through the entire passage within the quickest possible time, तो वहां पे आपके लिए एक एडेड एडवांटेज हो जाएगा कि पैसेज किस मुद्दा पे बात किया और ऑप्शन में क्या उस पॉइंट को, की पॉइंट्स या मेन आइडियाज क्या उसमें इंक्लूडेड है या नहीं. इफ इट इज इंक्लूडेड, देन देयर इज ऑलवेज अ चांस टू सिलेक्ट दैट पर्टिकुलर ऑप्शन, एंड इफ इट इज नॉट इंक्लूडेड, या इट शुड बी एलिमिनेटेड इंस्टेंटेनियसली. राइट? मूविंग टू द फोर्थ स्ट्रेटजी, व्हाट इज दैट? लेट अस नो. Look for the differences between the options. अब देखो, हर ऑप्शन, I have already told you कि हर ऑप्शन बहुत क्लोज होंगे. It will be a very close call. You can be easily confused, and that is the objective of the examiner, to get you confused. क्योंकि वो जानते हैं कि आप हर एक ऑप्शन में, इफ इट इज, इफ फोर ऑप्शंस आर गिवन, यू विल बी इजीली कंफ्यूज्ड इन ऑल दीज फोर ऑप्शंस. व्हाई? बिकॉज दे आर क्लोजली रिलेटेड टू ईच अदर. एक या दो पॉइंट होगा जो डिफरेंसेस क्रिएट कर देता है. सो माइन्यूट ऑब्जर्वेशन इज नीडेड ओवर हियर, एंड यू नीड टू हैव वेरी केयरफुल ऑब्जर्वेशन. कौन पॉइंट इंक्लूड है, कौन पॉइंट एलिमिनेटेड है. राइट? सो दीज आर द फोर strategies, guys, what I have discussed right now, and you need to take care all these strategies very, very seriously. Why am I saying like that? Because without following these strategies, you can consume a lot of time overthinking of that particular passage. The passage is all about what is the subject matter. You can get confused in between the vocabulary section. Word का meaning हो सकता है आपको नहीं पता हो. But these are the strategies. इसको अगर आप आसानी से grip में रखो तो obviously आपको proceed करने में आसान हो जाएगा, राइट? तो चलिए, इतना स्ट्रेटजीज डिस्कशन करने के बाद एक पैसेज सॉल्व करना तो बनता है ना. तो चलिए, विदाउट वेस्टिंग टाइम, लेट्स सॉल्व अ पैसेज एंड आई विल लेट यू नो दैट किस स्ट्रेटजी में हम लोग एलिमिनेट करते हैं और क्यों सही ऑप्शन को हम लोग कैसे हम लोग सिलेक्ट किए हैं, राइट? So this is the passage, The passage is saying that Israeli airstrikes have targeted civilian residents, all areas, and infrastructure, raising homes and hospitals alike. It has also attacked buildings that house international media organizations and COVID-19 testing laboratories. All these in the name of fighting against terrorism and right to self-defense. Anyone who has followed the trajectory of the Israel-Palestine conflict knows that Israel claims to form a part of the larger agenda to blame Palestinians, victim of its decades-long occupation and persecution. Now, students, if you have gone through for the first time, as quickly as possible, just go through the entire passage, you will get to know that the passage is talking about airstrikes from the part of Israel on Palestinians. राइट और यहाँ पे कुछ ऐसा पॉइंट मेंशन किया गया है जो ये दर्शा रहे हैं कि इसको एक नाम दिया गया फाइटिंग अगेंस्ट टेररिज्म और उसी के आड़ में इजराइल अटैक किए जा रहे हैं पैलेस्टीन कॉन्फ्लिक्ट को और बढ़ा दे रहा है वहां पे, राइट? आप अगर लास्ट पार्ट में थोड़ा फोकस करो, आप देखो यहाँ पे लिखा हुआ है दैट इजराइल क्लेम्स टू फॉर्म अ पार्ट ऑफ द लार्जर एजेंडा टू ब्लेम पैलेस्टीनियंस विक्टिम्स ऑफ इट्स डिकेड्स लॉन्ग ऑक्यूपेशन एंड परसिक्यूशन. तो इजराइल कंटिन्यूसली ब्लेम किए जा रहे हैं पैलेस्टाइन्स को, लेकिन इस जो लड़ाई है, ये जो एयर स्ट्राइक किया गया है, जो बिल्डिंग को डिस्ट्रॉय कर दिया गया, इसके मेन मुद्दा क्या था? उन्होंने इसका नाम दे दिया फाइटिंग अगेंस्ट टेररिज्म और उसी के आड़ में उनको अटैक पे अटैक किया जा रहा है. दिस इज द ओवरऑल एसेंस ऑफ द एंटायर पैसेज. Now moving to the option. First option, persecution of innocents has been a norm since the Israel-Palestine conflict raged after the testing labs were destroyed in an airstrike. Look, this is not exactly mentioned in the passage, but yes, it does have a connection with the passage. In that way, it should be eliminated straight away. Because the passage, it is not mentioning that persecution of innocents has been a norm. It is not a norm. It took place, right? Now, option B, Palestinians and Israelis have been at each other's throats and have been responsible for murdering the civilians on both sides. It's not proved yet. The incidents are happening rapidly and on a regular basis, these things are happening. But you cannot conclude in that way that Palestinians and Israelis have been at each other's throats and have been responsible for murdering the civilians on both sides. Clear-cut, explicit mention nahi kiya gaya. So option B will be eliminated. Moving to option C, airstrikes on Palestinian assets by Israelis have only been rising in recent times. In the entire passage, where is it written that in recent times it has been escalated? No, you will not find that clue from the entire passage. Not a single line is written or focusing on this particular point. So in that way, A, B, C, all the 3 points will be straight away eliminated. Moving to the last option, option D. Obviously, it should be the choice, but let us know that why we are selecting that. In the name of fighting terrorism, Israelis have long been victimizing the Palestinians by targeting civilians on all sorts of the premise. I've already told you that if you go through the last paragraph of this passage, for example, starting from, anyone who has followed the trajectory of the Israel-Palestinian conflict knows that Israel claims to form a part of the larger agenda to blame Palestinians, victims of its decades-long occupation and persecution. और उससे पहले आप अगर थोड़ा एक लाइन मूव करो, वहां पे आप देखिए, all these in the name of fighting against terrorism and right to self-defense. So both the things have been mentioned clearly in option D because these are the parts of the entire passage. And I think it should be the correct option because it is capturing the entire essence of the passage. In that way, our correct answer will be option D. So students, I have already discussed a passage and we have solved that what should be the correct option, what should be the correct parasummary of the passage that has been given to you. In that way, you need to keep in mind that you need to adopt the elimination strategy. You need to go through the entire passage as quickly as possible. You don't get stuck with the words. If the word is not known to you, just leave it for the time being and just proceed, because you need to capture the essence of the entire passage. You are not supposed to read out the entire things, and you are not supposed to understand the entire things, because you need to know the crux of the entire passage. So, my dear students, I have tried my level best to give you the idea that what should be your ideal approach regarding the questions of parasummary. I am quite sure that all of you must have understood the approach and the strategies that have been discussed right now. I can easily say that after watching this video, you will be pretty much confident to face the questions related to parasummary. And you have been a patient listener for the last, I have observed that you have been listening very carefully. And there are so many comments in the comment section that, sir, aisa kyun hua, I'm getting a lot of questions from your end. It shows the positive sign that you are taking interest. I'm really happy. You just keep on practicing and definitely will come off with flying colors. I'm quite sure about it. That's all from my side today. Thank you so much, and just wait for my next video and it will be more interesting, and all the videos I'm preparing for the preparation of your competitive examination. That's all. Take care. Bye bye. Thank you.